I'm at the stage of life, I know too much. I did a lot of things when I was young I wouldn't do now because I know you just can't do that. I grew up in western Oklahoma and Kansas in the Dust Bowl days. I spent summers on the farms of both my grandfathers. Among the things that I did on the farm were I had destination places, a pond, a little pond, a stand of cottonwood trees, or a prairie dog farm. And I still have a little notebook with pressed flowers wildflowers that I collected. I came to Chicago right out of college with my husband, and I was just amazed by Lake Michigan.
After World War II, manufacturing, agriculture, and chemical industries boomed around the Great Lakes. But by the 1960s, it was clear that the region was headed for an ecological disaster.
The old Atomic Energy Commission was planning to locate between 20 and 24 nuclear plants on Lake Michigan. There was a lot of concern about whether the heat from the cooling the massive millions and millions and millions of gallons a day would be run through the plant to cool the reactor and discharged, and there was a lot of concern about what thermal pollution it was called. In 1969, one of those meetings in Washington that I got asked to attend was said to be the first time when citizens ever were brought together to talk to the heads of federal agencies at the highest level. The meeting was supposed to have lasted 2 hours, it lasted 4.5 hours, and in the end, in my wildest dreams, never would I have thought I'd be yelling at the chairman of the Federal Power Commission and he'd be yelling at me. My first big experience in Washington like that.
Sweet Mother Michigan, Father Superior, coming down from Mackinac and Sault Ste. Marie, blue water Huron rolls down to Lake.
Canada and the United States had signed something called the Great Lakes Water Quality Agreement, and that was another adventure. So he said, "Lee, are you going to this meeting up on Mackinac Island at the Grand Hotel?" And I said, "No, what meeting? So far away, it's so expensive, why would I do that?" So he explained what was happening up there. So I go, and when I get there, what I find out is that, led by Indiana, the 4 states around Lake Michigan were trying to lobby to keep Lake Michigan from being covered by this new international agreement. I stood up in the middle of the meeting and I said, "Governor Milliken, you're forgetting something. You're forgetting Lake Michigan." He quickly adjourned the meeting. And afterwards, the governor of Wisconsin, he was named Pat Lucey, came to me and he said, I agree with you, let's make this happen. The next morning, Governor Lucey introduced a resolution calling for the inclusion of Lake Michigan, and so Lake Michigan got covered by the Great Lakes Water Quality Agreement. And the Great Lakes Water Quality Agreement has been my biggest passion.
Oh, I was born a long time ago when this nation was new and wild was the...
I feel fortunate. I've had a lot of opportunities to really earn my living working on issues that I cared about. And that's not easy. I mean, you don't get that opportunity lots of times. On the other hand, I didn't solve all the problems. The problems seem to get bigger. So that's pretty frustrating.
Blue horizon. I've seen the tall ships that have passed by the shore, the side-wheel steamers, the whalebacks and more.
I think maybe the most satisfactory thing ever has been to get the Learning Center going for the kids, because that's the future. And unless the kids, they've got to have the understanding to avoid making the kinds of decisions and mistakes that were made and are still being made. And so that's the hope.
In Sandusky, and lovers and families out on holiday.